I think that means he forgot my name. I'm so nervous of being near these sculptures. Oh, I've got my timer. Right, okay. So, this is not the end of it. Hi, I'm Louise. I usually serve with Ichthus, which is the Dutch-speaking movement in Belgium, although currently I live in London because I am on sabbatical because Brexit. You can go to the next slide. So we're really excited that we did our first ever proclama in Belgium last year. Yeah, it was really exciting. Yeah, and these are our three amazing young evangelists who have now graduated. And I'm just so excited, especially for these two who are planning now the first mission week in their city since 2019. So the two lads there on the far side. And just pray for them that they would, keep being excited, they would keep digging into this, they wouldn't just have one talk, but they would have many and continue to do that. Then I don't know what's next. So yes, Mission Week's relaunched in Antwerp. And these guys were so creative with the way that they used their local connections. So you can see there were 5 different groups that they partnered with. And there's a little film on the next thing, which I'm going to speak over. If it plays. Will it play? Or I can just tell you about it. Ah, sad. Okay, I'll tell you about it. You can watch it. Oh. Okay, I'll just start talking. The Antwerp movement recently moved into a church building that is literally a minute's walk from the campus. So it's a church building. It's slightly alien to a lot of students. Why would you walk into that? That would be weird. And so they had a ping pong table out, inviting people in to just come and play a game of ping pong. They had really big signs that said free food, free coffee, all day. Didn't matter when their events were, they were just going to do that all day. And then there's a piano and an organ inside the church. So it's a very traditional church. And so they invited people in, why don't you just come and play the piano? Why don't you just come and play the organ? And they were to have people as well playing music throughout the day so people could just sit in the church and listen to the music, get comfortable in the space. And then the Christian students could just walk up to them and start that conversation as they experience some kind of peace or maybe some excitement about being in this beautiful space and hearing beautiful music. And then another thing that they did, which I found really exciting, I was skeptical about it at first. It was called Church for People That Don't Go to Church. And I was like, guys, no one's going to go. Like, why would anyone turn up to that? But obviously I didn't say that because that would be a really bad staff worker thing to do. So instead I was like, oh, great, cool, how are you going to do that? So they were like, well, we're just going to have some worship and have a sermon, and it'll be on a Thursday night. That's the only difference. Actually, it was really, really good. 8 non-Christians turned up, went to church for the first time. And in the Belgian context, where students go home every weekend, actually, that was a way for students to connect with church in their city. When they're not going to be around at the weekend, it was seeker-friendly. All the Christian students kind of, they kind of made an agreement, like, we won't put our hands up in the air and we won't be too weird. And it was just really lovely to see sort of people who'd never been to church before and people who'd been to church maybe most of their lives, worshipping alongside each other, exploring stuff. And so many of them took away, it was really cool to hear your music. That was how they said it was really cool to hear your music. And so actually experiencing worship in that was a really big part of our mission week. Also, students got creative in a city called Hasselt. It might not seem like very much, but they shared hot chocolate. And they said it was Easter, one of the ones that we did. And so they had little chocolate eggs. And as people walked up to them, they said, hey, here's a chocolate egg because happy Easter. And people said, but why is it free? And the door is suddenly wide open to talk about Easter in the gospel, which was amazing. And you can see there a little game. It looks like beer pong. I promise you we weren't playing beer pong on campus. This is a game called Ponder Pong. So you stick deep, meaningful conversations in the cups. You play it a bit like you play beer pong, and you start amazing conversations with people. And what was really exciting is Belgians love beer, okay? So they were walking up like, oh, is there free beer as well? And we were like, no, but do you want to play? Like, you want to show us how good you are at beer pong? Yeah? And they were like, yeah, we do. But then obviously when they obviously landed one, we made them answer the question, and we'd end up talking to people for 15, 20 minutes. And then we'd invite them that evening to a bonfire or to a games night where they could just get to know us in fellowship, having already heard the gospel. And I've put there an answer to a long unanswered prayer. For 10 years, we've been praying for students to be able to be on this campus. It's been unfruitful for 10 years. And then this year, I said to the student, well, why don't you just give it one more go? Like, just reach out, see what happens. And she said, I'm only doing it because I like you, Louise. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, nobody wants Christian students on Belgian campuses. They've got the Catholic groups already. They don't need us. And I said, go on, just have a go, just for me. She said, okay, I'll do it just for you. So she has this 10-minute conversation, and the guy goes, Ichthus, yeah, I know this. Is it this student's family? Like, does this student go to your group? And she's like, yeah, that student goes to my group. He's like, cool. I live next door to his family. I love their family. They were so welcoming to us when we moved into the neighborhood. I'll do anything for you. You can be on campus as much as you like. Be in the entrance hallway. Do your thing. Share whatever it is that you guys do. Yeah, we love them. And so I just want to encourage you guys that, like, if you've got unanswered prayers, like, God will answer it in weird ways, including just moving people into a house next door to a Christian family. And it's also a reminder for all of us that to be welcoming to our neighbors, I think, because God will use that even if we're not students ourselves. Like, we don't know who that person we live next door to. They might end up opening a door for evangelism. And finally, we did the Mark Drama Extravaganza. Can you tell a British person named this? I said it as a joke in a staff meeting, and they all ran with it. They were like, extravaganza, we love that word. So it was our first project in partnership with the GBU in so many years. So we're the Dutch-speaking movement. We also have a French-speaking movement in Belgium. And it was just amazing. We planned to do Mark Drama in Flemish, French and English. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough actors to do it in Flemish, but we had 15 students from the US who came to be hands and feet for the gospel, and they partnered with 4 of our Belgian students to put on the English thing. Some things I just want to say about that is that we tied in other events to it. So a bit like Bright was saying, that they had lunch bars and the Mark Drama. And while we were flyering on campus, it's quite hard to flyer on campus like during the day and then invite people to something off campus in the evening. So we still had something to invite them to during the day, evangelistic talks done by our Proclama students, that they could kind of connect the dots with. And when they then heard the gospel, heard this kind of convincing apologetic talk, we could be like, if you want to hear more, we're going to explain the entirety of Jesus' life tonight. And actually, that's why all these American foreigners are in the room with us, is actually because they've come to do that for you. And I think as well, having so many language groups, having the opportunity to share it in different languages was really cool. We also had a basketball court outside our venue. One of our staff members is a semi-pro basketball player. So he just went out and started playing basketball with people and then would invite people right into the venue as soon as the game had finished. And that was just for me being like, let's just use all of the skills that we've got. They're not typical evangelistic skills, but actually we've got a semi-pro basketball player who kind of speaks okay French, so let's just go for it. And so I've just bummed up a few prayer points that you can say for, yes, there we are. We've had a general secretary vacancy for 6 months. Please pray for us that someone will come in, the right person will come in and lead the team and kind of take us back up in that way. For the mission weeks that are planned in Antwerp, in Leuven, for more young, passionate being the key words, evangelists to spring up from our nation, for more creativity for us to lead into our passions and our gifting, so ping pong, beer pong, basketball, anything. that we would use that. And also for our relationship with GBU. Honestly, praise God that we had that time working together for the first time in a long time, and that we will continue to do that so we can grow the kingdom together in Belgium.